Belal Muhammad thinks that 185 is the easiest division outside of Khamzat Chimaev. So today we're going to be talking about Belal Muhammad versus the top UFC middleweights. Starting off with the first matchup we're going to go over is him versus Anthony Hernandez. Now, I like Anthony Hernandez. At one point in time, this guy was underrated. Now this guy's overrated in my opinion. I don't think this guy's going to beat Brendan Allen. I just don't think he's going to beat Brendan Allen. I don't think the guy's going to make it to the top 5 in my opinion. I think there's a lot of guys that are ranked above him right now that beat him comfortably in my opinion. And Belal Muhammad would beat him. I think Belal Muhammad is too skilled for Anthony Hernandez. Yes, Anthony Hernandez is good cardio, good wrestling, and he can throw volume. But Belal Muhammad is just better everywhere, in every department, than Anthony Hernandez in my opinion. Moving on, we have got Paulo Costa. Now, this is a difficult one. I'm still going to go Belal Muhammad. I think Belal Muhammad is just more skilled than what Paulo Costa is. But Paulo Costa is massive for the middleweight division. The guy's got pretty decent takedown defense. And on the feet, I think he can offer Belal Muhammad a lot of problems. Although this passive Paulo Costa isn't it. If this was the aggressive Paulo Costa, I could potentially maybe see him stopping Belal Muhammad. But this current version of Paulo Costa we have, I think Belal Muhammad would beat him by, guess what? A decision. Moving on, we have got Roman Dolidze. Belal Muhammad beats him. Belal Muhammad is more well-rounded than him. Although Roman Dolidze has fought at 205, which he's a big guy. Roman Dolidze is a big guy and a good grappler as well. On the feet, I know he kind of styled on Anthony Smith, but that's Anthony Smith. Belal Muhammad beats him. I think Belal Muhammad is going to outvolume him on the feet, and I think Belal Muhammad will do good work in the grappling exchanges between him and Roman Dolidze. Although I pray we never see this fight, because I'd quite possibly rather fucking rip my own eye out than watch Roman Dolidze Belal Muhammad. But Belal Muhammad beats him. Moving on up, we've got Brendan Allen. Look, Brendan Allen's kind of got that dog in him. Now, Brendan Allen can slow down. He did slow down in his last fight against Nasruddin Imavov. I'm looking forward to seeing Brendan Allen against Anthony Hernandez. I think the 3 rounds definitely favours Brendan Allen in that matchup. Do I think Brendan Allen can beat Belal Muhammad? I think Brendan Allen's got pretty good boxing, and his grappling is great as well. I mean, the guy's had a lot of success. Obviously, he submitted Paul Craig and stuff like that. The guy is a really good grappler. Although Belal Muhammad's just more skilled. Belal Muhammad is more skilled. I think Belal Muhammad would push the pace on Brendan Allen. I think they've got very different grappling styles. I think Belal Muhammad would have success against Brendan Allen on the feet. Don't think he would hurt Brendan Allen. I don't know who Belal Muhammad would hurt outside of Sean Brady. But I feel like the volume and just what we've seen in Belal Muhammad's last fight, that constant forward pressure, that constant just mixing up the arts. Like, Belal Muhammad looked really, really good in his last fight against Leon Edwards. I thought Leon was going to smoke him. It was the complete opposite. I think Belal Muhammad would beat Brendan Allen. Moving on up, we've got Marvin Vettori. Let's not waste time on this. Brendan Allen? How's Marvin Vettori even ranked number 8 in the UFC's middleweight division? I will never ever know. But Belal Muhammad is just too skilled for a guy like Marvin Vettori, let's just be honest. Marvin Vettori is big for the middleweight division, but there's nothing you can say Marvin Vettori does that is better than what Belal Muhammad does. In my opinion anyway, other than take a shot better than him. And Marvin Vettori isn't a big puncher, neither is Belal Muhammad, so the chin isn't really going to matter in here. And Belal Muhammad is just more skilled than what Marvin Vettori is. Let's move on. Moving on up, we have got Jared Cannonier. Now, Jared Cannonier, good grappler, has got good striking. I think Jared Cannonier could really cause Belal Muhammad a lot of problems on the feet, because Jared Cannonier is tricky to make reads on, because the guy does change stance quite a lot. Now, Jared Cannonier looks like he's a massive puncher. The guy's not really, though, if we're being honest. At this current stage of Jared Cannonier's career, at him being 40, I think Belal Muhammad beats him. I think Belal Muhammad would do a good job of staying safe and kind of just swarming Jared Cannonier. I think he'd do a good job of being able to back Cannonier up to the cage, to allow him to then work in his takedowns, to just kind of make Jared Cannonier work. And at this stage of Cannonier's career, I just don't think he would have that extra gears required for him to beat a guy like Belal Muhammad. Although I could see him giving him problems, especially the way he's able to switch stances, going to southpaw and throw off that inside leg kick. I could see him catching Belal Muhammad a lot with that and his jab. Although I just think Belal Muhammad would over volume Jared Cannonier to the point where he'd back Jared Cannonier up. And I think the constant threat of the takedown, then the strike, and then the takedown, then the strike, and then the takedown from Belal Muhammad, then the grappling, and the wrestling, and the boxing. I know I sounded like Belal Muhammad there. I know that you thought, holy shit, Belal Muhammad's just featured in this video, but stay with me. It is still me, okay? Belal Muhammad beats Jared Cannonier. Caio Borralho.
But what the hell, boy?
I think Caio Borralho's slightly overrated.
Huh?
I'm just going to say it. Yes, he looked good against Jared Cannonier, but Belal Muhammad's already going to beat Jared Cannonier anyway. And outside of that, who we're basing it off is fight against Paul Craig. You know, there's levels to mixed martial arts. Belal Muhammad. Oh, this is difficult. Because Caio Borralho's a big puncher. Not saying Belal Muhammad's chinny, but you have to remember Belal Muhammad has been chinned in the welterweight weight class, and he would be moving up then. And Caio Borralho can grapple. Whoa. I just don't think I've seen enough of Caio Borralho in there with elite level opposition to pick him over Belal Muhammad. I'm going to go Belal Muhammad. This is difficult though. Let me know your opinions on this one in the comments. Moving on up, we've got Robert Whittaker. Whittaker beats him. Whittaker beats Belal. Like, let's just be honest. Skill set for skill set, Robert Whittaker's better than what Belal Muhammad is. Now, you might be saying, well, look at Robert Whittaker's grappling defense in that Khamzat Chimaev matchup. Are you going to tell me Belal Muhammad's going to have that success with his grappling against, like Khamzat did against Robert Whittaker? No. Skill set for skill set, Robert Whittaker is the more skilled fighter. Facts. Also, Whittaker's big thing now is like, is the guy chinny? Has he taken so much damage? Belal Muhammad's not rocking him. Let's just be honest. And I think I could see Robert Whittaker coming in with that jab. I think he would do a really good job. His lateral movement, and whenever he steps in, disguising that with his lead hand or his backhand to come up with a head kick, he's catching Belal Muhammad with that all night. Whittaker beats Belal Muhammad. Whittaker is too skilled. Not too skilled, because Belal Muhammad is really skilled. But I think Whittaker's skill set I would favour Whittaker's skill set over Belal Muhammad's, is what I'm saying. Whittaker beats him. Moving on, we've got Israel Adesanya. Israel Adesanya.
I need the max win.
Belal Muhammad beats him, I'm going to be honest. Israel Adesanya is a very good striker, a good counter striker, but can be overwhelmed with someone who's constantly putting the pace on him, like we've seen with Sean Strickland, like we've seen with DDP. Belal Muhammad will just walk forward with Israel Adesanya. Now, the body kicks of Adesanya, the leg kicks of Adesanya, I could see him having success, and Israel Adesanya is going to be a lot longer than what Belal Muhammad's used to. Pause. And he has really good takedown defense against the cage. At this stage of Adesanya's career, I'm going Belal Muhammad. I trust in Belal Muhammad to be able to take Israel Adesanya down. Do I think he finishes Israel Adesanya? He's not really much of a submission threat, Belal Muhammad. Is he much of a threat ending the fight anywhere? Bruh. Some would say no, some would say yes. Belal beats Israel Adesanya. Moving on, we've got Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat smokes Belal, let's just be honest. Khamzat Chimaev, I think, would ragdoll him. No shade at Belal Muhammad. I think a lot of people will be ragdolled by Khamzat Chimaev. And even with what Belal Muhammad said, saying 185 is an easy weight class bar Khamzat Chimaev, Belal Muhammad knows ball. He knows what's going to happen in this matchup. Khamzat stops him inside 2 rounds. Moving on, we've got Sean Strickland. This is a difficult one, to be honest. Because Sean Strickland has really good takedown defense and get-ups, right? On the feet, I'm going to have to go Belal Muhammad, you know. I am, because Sean Strickland is always defense first, offense second. And I think Belal Muhammad is kind of what we'd seen in the DDP rematch. I think Sean Strickland would end up being overwhelmed by Belal Muhammad, because Belal Muhammad, like we seen in the Leon Edwards matchup, not that his striking is really, really technical, it's not, but the guy is game enough to constantly come forward and throw shots and look to mix in the takedowns as well. Like I said, Strickland has very underrated grappling, although I just see Strickland just being outworked by Belal. Like, when I first thought of making this video, I kind of thought Strickland defends the takedowns. I think he'd be able to land that jab all night on Belal Muhammad, but I still think he'd land the jab on him. I don't think Sean Strickland would throw enough output to kind of deter Belal Muhammad from constantly being in his face. So for that reason, I am going to be going for Belal Muhammad. Nassourdine Imavov. Oh, fuck, this is difficult. Can grapple, big puncher. Does slow down though. Does slow down. Oh, this is difficult. A part of me feels like Nassourdine Imavov chins him.
Bruh.
Is it just me that's thinking that? But then he slowed down so bad against Brendan Allen. But then he looked so good against Adesanya. But there was no real grappling exchanges though. There was no sprawls. There was no scrambles. Belal Muhammad will offer that. I'm going to go Nassourdine Imavov to stop Belal Muhammad. I don't know. I just have that feeling and I'm going to go for it. You can let me know in the comments below though. And finally, Dricus du Plessis. DDP knocks out Belal Muhammad in my opinion. DDP is one of the best strikers right now in the UFC. A lot of people might not agree with that take. The guy's outstruck Sean Strickland and Israel Adesanya. So there is definitely an argument to be had there. Talking about DDP striking ability. Also, I think DDP would just be too strong for Belal Muhammad. I think he'd be able to outmuscle him. And DDP can also grapple. I would give the grappling advantage to Belal Muhammad in terms of just wrestling. Obviously, in terms of finishing threat with submissions and ground and pound, it is DDP. I think DDP knocks out Belal Muhammad. You can let me know your opinions in the comments below. How many of the top UFC middleweights does Belal Muhammad beat? Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you again in the next one.